11 a.m., the morning of July 17, 2004. There was so much pacing. Pacing back and forth on the hospital floor. They didn't know if I would make it. They didn't know if my mother would make it. When I was finally cut out of my mother's stomach, the nurse yelled, "It's a healthy baby girl!" There was elation. My mother was safe. I was safe. It was all good. For a moment. Until they looked at me. They looked at me and said, "The girl is a little too dark." In the complex dynamics of human society, there exists a phenomenon that often hides in plain sight: colorism. More than just a matter of shades, colorism operates as a pervasive form of discrimination, particularly against women in the Indian community. In this video essay, we'll delve into the depths of this issue, exploring its roots, manifestations, and potential pathways for positive societal change. If you're Indian, or just a darker person in general, I think you can relate to kind of the gaslighting of it all. Telling you that it's not that big a deal, telling you to just suck it up, telling you that you're making a big deal out of it, asking you why you're jealous, why you can't just accept that you're not as beautiful as everybody else. Oh, I've accepted it. I've accepted that parts of society will never see beauty in my skin or me. I accepted it when I was 7 years old. Stop normalizing it and stop saying, "Oh, this is how things have always been," because this isn't natural, this isn't normal, and this is not how things have always been. To understand an issue, we must first recognize its historical context.
It is thought that when the Aryan people migrated to India around 1000 BCE, they mixed their religious traditions with the Dravidians. The Aryans were considered the conquerors of the dark-skinned Dravidians, and so the light skin of the invading Aryans was considered superior.
In later interpretations of the Varna system, during the time of Brigu, skin color became a distinguishing factor of caste. Brahmins were described as white-skinned, while Shudras were known to have black skin.
Caste privileges in India are often described as being akin to racism, in that it is a source of pervasive differences in nearly all socioeconomic outcomes. However, unlike the linkages between racism and colorism, the racial or skin color-based origins of caste are contested. Mishra 2015. Many have argued that the caste system predates the racial stratifications derived from colonialism and slavery. Moreover, geographical variations in skin color cut across class lines, and differences in skin shades are not necessarily the defining feature of caste identity. R.M. Vijaya and Pulari, March 2022.
Though there is no evidence of skin color-based discrimination by the Mughals, they were a homogeneous group of lighter-skinned rulers. So light skin became synonymous with the superiority of the rulers, which was strengthened by other conquerors like the Portuguese and the French.
One way in which colonialism impacted us is ideas of beauty. British people who lived in their own ideas of patriarchy and their own ideas of what was Western civilization. They created these ideas of Western civilization based on what they thought was their heritage. They looked to ideas of Greece and Rome for models of beauty, right? And so if you remember the statue of David, the paintings of Venus, all of those images were part of British culture, right? And when they came to India, they didn't see that, right? But they imported those models as that's who they thought was beautiful.
The British had divided parts of India into black towns and white towns. And the black towns were where Indian people lived, and the white towns were where the British people lived.
Black Indians were denied entry into restaurants and educational institutions.
When you don't talk about history, when you don't talk about why things are the way that they are, people kind of just assume that groups of people, especially groups of people they don't know about, are just inferior. And that's not our fault. That's not our fault as a human society. That's really just how we've been taught, how we've been conditioned by evils that come before us that we all need to join together to fight against. Well, a lot of people talk about how poor India is. Indians aren't stupid. Indians know that India is poor. As we entered into the 21st century, Indians saw that other countries, Britain, the United States, Canada, all of these places, they had so many resources. All of these people with light skin had so many resources. Of course we knew that colonialism existed. Of course we knew that India was one of the richest continents before the British rule. Before the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the British invaded and looted it. We just look at the people and we think, wow, I guess if you're born with lighter skin, just better with money or something. I mean, that's what the world tells you. Oh, these Indians, they scam people. They're so poor. They're so dirty. Oh, look at us. We're so civilized. Fortresses with stolen gold on stolen land. Well, that's definitely affected us.
Fairness creams are such a necessity that Indians spend more on fairness creams each year than on Coca-Cola or tea.
Relatives and friends would provide me with skin bleaching creams.
Or use basin, use cucumber, use aloe vera, like pretty much everything that was in the kitchen was supposed to be applied on my face.
Very important to note that none of these people were trying to hurt me.
I still feel like I'm not good enough compared to other girls out there.
These were all people, family members, who cared about me and loved me so much.
No matter what I did, it didn't measure to be good enough, or somehow I didn't deserve to feel or achieve something in my life.
They were trying to look out for my best interests.
A survey found that 70% of men believe that fair skin would give them an advantage over others in securing a job, success at interviews, or finding a partner.
When it was time to go out or take pictures, I would be offered foundations and powders that didn't match my skin tone in an attempt to mask my darkness.
Fair-skinned actors often make their skin artificially darker with makeup when playing lower-class characters.
Yet because of these pressures, my own face never fit my idea of what it is to be beautiful.
Off-screen, Kala Rang is shamed and demonized as poor, ugly, and dirty, adding another layer of insecurity and fueling the desire to escape the ill fate of being born with darker skin.
I need to become white and I need to do this.
You become white? Really? You don't like this? This is pretty.
Light skin fast. Bright fast. Bright fast.
Of course, I have been discriminated because of my skin shade right from my childhood, I believe. Invariably, the first statement would be, you're not as fair as your mother. My mom is on the fairer side. So that used to be the comment which I used to always receive.
When I was 4 years old, we moved to Delhi, the bustling capital of India. I was the only brown, I guess everyone's brown, but like I was much darker than everybody else that went to that school. And I was relentlessly bullied. You know, at first, they didn't even notice me. Like, no one looked at me. I craved for a friend. But eventually, that morphed into bullying. By the time I was 6 years old, I was being called Kowa, which means crow, almost every day. And one time, I thought I'd made friends because these two boys, they asked me, "Hey Pulari, do you wanna play catch and catch?" And I was like, yes! I had never ever been invited to play before. I was so excited. We played catch and catch for a while. They caught me a whole bunch of times. They were way faster than me. But you know what? I tried and I tried and I tried, and I finally caught one of them. Suddenly the mood shifted. This guy, one of the boys, he clapped his hand, and the other boy pinned me to the wall. I was so shocked. Wow. This whole time I was playing with them because I thought I had made friends. But they'd planned this all along. This was all a part of their plan. They'd planned this all along. They'd planned to hurt me. As one of the boys held me, pinned me tightly against the wall, the other boy continued to beat me up. He hurled insults at me about my skin color, about where I was from. He told me to go back to Kerala, which is Kerala, but you know. And he kicked me in my stomach a whole bunch of times. I think I was 6 years old, going on 7 years old. Yeah. After they were done, they left me on the floor bleeding and told me to not tell the teacher. I didn't. I was scared that they would beat me up again. But when I went home and my dad asked me why, I was hurt, I told him. I just remember looking out of the window, bleeding from my forehead, and just thinking, actually, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I internalized. I really, really don't know. I just remember looking out into the people. I just remember looking out at the students playing on the playground from the classroom, and I just remember thinking, what's wrong with me? What's so wrong with me that I'm punished for just existing? In broader social settings, colorism can breed division and exclusion, perpetuating hierarchies based on skin tone. Events such as weddings and social gatherings often become battlegrounds where women are scrutinized and judged based on their appearances. Combat these harmful social norms. Community leaders and influencers, celebrities must take proactive steps to foster environments of inclusivity and celebrate the richness of diversity within Indian communities. Unity within diversity, right? All Indians are my brothers and sisters, right? I'm proud of my country and its rich and varied cultural heritage, right? It's crucial to acknowledge the profound mental health implications of colorism on women. Constant exposure to discriminatory attitudes can lead to anxiety, depression, and body fucking dysmorphia, affecting individuals' overall well-being and quality of life. Healing from the trauma of colorism requires a holistic approach that addresses both individual and systemic levels of oppression. By prioritizing mental health support and destigmatizing conversations around body image and self-esteem, we can empower women to reclaim their narratives and embrace their inherent worth beyond external appearances. I mean, there are signs of progress. When I was a kid, I could have never imagined seeing a girl that didn't look white, didn't look Caucasian on a billboard. As I grew older, I started seeing girls that were girls and women that were at least a little darker than that. I mean, not the darkest, but darker. As I grew older, I started witnessing the Malayalam film industry incorporating all of these actresses who look so different from each other, who look so different from the standard of beauty that is forced upon our throats, that look like Indian women that I've never seen before on screens look like. Activists across India are mobilizing to challenge colorism in all its forms. From social media campaigns to community outreach programs, grassroots efforts are raising awareness and promoting acceptance of diverse beauty standards. Our goal is to dismantle the structures that uphold colorism and create a more inclusive society where every individual is valued for who they are and not the color of their skin. Education plays a crucial role in this movement. By teaching young people to celebrate their own unique beauty and reject harmful stereotypes, we can foster a generation that embraces diversity in all its forms. Schools and universities have a responsibility to integrate discussions of colorism into their curricula, empowering students to critically engage with issues of race and identity. I and a lot of other creators also believe that legislative measures are needed to combat colorism at the institutional level. I mean, there's colorism in the workplace, colorism in job interviews, colorism at school. The only teacher that ever showed me the amount of love that I saw was shown to other students was a teacher that had the same skin tone as me. Laws prohibiting discrimination based on skin color and promoting diversity in media representation can help dismantle the systemic barriers that perpetuate inequality. How about not having more actresses with lighter skin than the actual proportion of Indian women? How about that for a start?
My personal view on colorism is based on the fact that, it's like certain attributes are attached to a color. For example, something I don't agree with is that Indian gods, not Indian, I mean Hindu gods. Hindu gods are always depicted as white in color. But certain historical records do prove that Mahabali was indeed a black man by color, but it is, white has always been attributed to, let's say prosperity, goodness, etc. And black, I feel, as a color has always been undermined. But I always find black a classic color. So the thing is, it is reflected in everything you portray outside externally, whether it be your skin, whether it be maybe sometimes the ornaments or the dresses that you wear. So it is reflected as a way of life, colorism. എന്താ പറയുക, നമ്മളോട് പറയുന്ന ഓരോ കോമെന്റിൽ പോലും കളറിസം റിഫ്ലക്റ്റ് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് വി പുഷിങ് ഇറ്റ് അവേ, വി ബ്രഷിങ് ഇറ്റ് ഓഫ്, വി സപ്രസിങ് ഇറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ഐ ഓഫൻ ഫൈൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് സാഡ് ദറ്റ് വി ആർ നോട്ട് ടോക്കിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് ഇറ്റ്, and nothing's changing. There's nobody questioning it. It's like an endless loop.
If you've watched until the end of this video, thank you so much. Honestly, I really do appreciate it. I've been working on some variation of this video since last year, but I always got really scared, and I was like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna distill everything I want to say into one video. I don't know if people are gonna take it seriously. I don't know if it's even gonna matter to people. So it's really taken a long time to work up the courage to post something like this. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you've watched till the end of this video, I can't believe that someone would actually sit down and listen to everything that I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Drink lots of water. Take care of yourself. I know it's final season, and for the people of. And if it's not final season for you, I'm sure that there's a lot of work coming up before the summer. But we'll get through this together. Subscribe if you would like to become a cinnamon pie. Get it? It's like cutie pie, but brown. And if you're not brown, who doesn't like cinnamon? Like the video, please. It really does help with the algorithm, and you guys have been helping out so much by liking my past couple videos. Share this video with anybody that you think might like this content, or that you want to have this conversation with. Anyone that you want to be like, hey, see, colorism is a real issue and I'm so traumatized, because you do get a little traumatized from colorism. Good luck to everybody. I love all of you. Good night. I love you. Sweet dreams.